South Holland. It is time for lunch with Librarian. Life was funky last week. We were not at work, and so I didn't get anything taped. But so this week, you're going to actually get 2 episodes of Lunch with the Librarian. I'm looking at the wrong box. You're going to get 2 episodes of Lunch with the Librarian. This is going to be more like dinner with the librarian. I figured I'm doing, like, y'all know I am a lazy cook. And I love kind of a recipe that where I can just dump stuff into a pot and like be done. So I've decided I'm doing one of those for dinner tonight. So I thought I would show you the recipe that I'm making. That's kind of like Thanksgiving dinner in a bowl. So the first thing that I do, it's just a chicken and stuffing recipe. And I almost hesitate to call it a recipe. I've got my little crock pot here. Most people have crock pots. If you don't, there are lots of recipes for casseroles that are like this online. Whatever makes you happy. Obviously the crock pot's way easier. Actually, let me move this so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just taking, I have 2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken breasts from the grocery store. I am just going to trim kind of the big chunks of fat that are still attached to that because I don't need them and I don't want them. And then I don't even need to cut this up or anything. I'm just dumping it straight into the crock pot. No really prep on that at all. Tucker, I hear you, and I'll be there in a second. So I'm just cutting off some of those big chunks of fat. This is not going to get crispy, so we don't need any chicken skin attached to our stuff. So we've got just 2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken breasts. You can use 2 pounds of chicken thighs if you would rather. That is fine if that's what you like. I'm just giving my hands a real quick wash because I was just handling raw chicken, and that's always a good idea when you've been touching raw meat. Just give your hands another quick wash. All right, so now in a bowl, I'm going to mix together 1 can of condensed cream of chicken soup. It's got to be the condensed kind, or else it won't work out. If you get it where it's like ready to eat right out of the can, the recipe will not work. So do that. Let me grab a spatula. I've got this nifty little skinny one that I can use to get all of the soup. See what I mean? Like, it's not soup textured. It's really, really creamy because it's creamy chicken soup. If I were going to eat this as soup, I would need to like add milk or water to it, but we're using it in a recipe, so this is fine. And then the other thing is that I'm gonna mix into this bowl is a 1/2 cup of sour cream. I'm going to use this little bit of, oh, hi Buzz, get out of there. Goodbye, Buzz. We had a little bit of leftover sour cream from some tacos that we got the other day. Nope. Sorry, Pupper. it's cardboard. And waste not, want not. So I'm just gonna use this little bit of leftover sour cream. It's not a ton, but better not to waste. And then just half a cup of sour cream into the cup. If it's a little over or a little under, it's fine. Put those into the same bowl and whisk them together. Or stir them. If you don't want to mess with a whisk, that's legit. I appreciate where you're coming from. Just get them so that they're kind of all mixed up together. It sort of looks like cake frosting, although I don't know that I would want a cake frosted with this. That would be real weird. Okay. Now I'm gonna dump this, like I just got my 2 chicken breasts inside the crock pot, and I'm just gonna dump this on top of it. And the whole, like all the chicken should be covered with sour, creamy, chicken soupy goodness. You're not frosting a cake. It does not need to look pretty. But it should cover it all up. And this is what that looks like. Now, the last thing is, in this bowl, I've got 6 ounces of dry stuffing. So stovetop, like a box of stovetop is how much that is. If you get your stuffing by the bag, like this was in a bag, it's about half the bag of stuffing. So, and again, if it's a little bit over, a little bit under, it's not a big deal. And then to that, I'm adding a cup of chicken broth. And y'all know how I like the low sodium chicken broth, because then I can control how much salt is in my food. So I pour the chicken broth onto the stuffing. I put the cat on the floor because she is an imp who will run off with our food. And I just kind of stir it together so that that chicken broth starts kind of getting absorbed. This would be easier with a spoon, frankly, but I didn't want to dirty another dish. Our dishwasher is broken, and I don't do dishes, and I feel bad making my husband wash a million dishes every day. So it just is sort of wet. It's not, the broth is pretty much absorbed by the stuffing, and so I'm just dumping that now right on top of the sour cream and chicken soup mixture that I have made. Spread it out so it's even. Put the top on my crock pot. Where did I leave that lid? There we go. It's plugged in, and I'm putting it on low. My crock pot just has low, high, and warm, so I'm turning it on to low. And it goes on low. I don't have to do anything else to it. This is done. For between 6 and 8 hours. So when it is finished, like when 6 to 8 hours have elapsed, I will come back and show you how I'm going to eat this and what I'm going to eat it with. See you in 6 to 8 hours, South Holland. All right, clearly it's dark. It's been 7 hours since I got the crock pot going, and let me show you what that looks like. In the background, my husband is making some green beans to serve on the side. If you want to serve a vegetable on the side, whatever you like to eat, there's nothing wrong with any choice you make, as long as it's delicious. That's all we need. Let me turn this off and unplug it so that I don't forget to do that later on. And I need a large spoon to nuts. Let me just put the gigantic spoon away in here. Seal it here. To stir this all together. And if you have done this right, when you stir it all together, and really kind of there's no wrong way to do it, the chicken will just kind of fall apart. Remember how I put those 2 whole gigantic chicken breasts in the bottom? It's just coming apart into chunks as I stir this around. The soup and sour cream mixture has kind of made a gravy out of itself and the starch from the bread, which is essentially stuffing mixed with just breadcrumbs. And I'm just stirring this to kind of break up the pieces of chicken. You can see sauteed green beans with butter on the side. Butter on the green beans. More butter is never a bad thing. We happen to have green beans at our house. Whatever you like works.
Because I love green beans.
Yeah,
Miss
really.
Jen's not wild about them.
They're fine. They're fine. But my husband loves a green bean. So today we're just scooping up our portion onto a plate. Like, clearly this makes a ton. We're gonna have leftovers for a while. And I'm crazy excited about that.
Crazy.
And there is a really quick dinner. It takes no time at all to prep, and is really kind of like, it's raining now and it's dark and it's cold, and it feels so like dreary and gloomy that this is going to be really, really satisfying for dinner tonight. I hope you enjoyed this bonus episode of Dinner with a Librarian. We're going to go eat, and I'll see you online again soon. Bye, South Holland.